Welcome to the Emerging Screenwriters Interview Series, sponsored by ISA. I am Shayna Weber, and today we are with Meg Swertlow.
Hi.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. How are you doing?
I'm quite pregnant.
No.
Yeah, that's what this is. So, but I'm good. I'm 8 months pregnant, and I'm excited about what's to come in many avenues of my life.
Amazing. We're going to start with just a couple icebreaker things to sort of like ease the nerves and get into it. What are you watching right now, or what are your all-time favorite shows?
What I'm watching right now, so TV, right?
Sure. Or movies.
Well, I just watched Barbarian. I saw Barbarian the day it opened, and that was really inspiring to watch and made me... I'm reworking my script, not to copy Barbarian, but
it opened
to think
up
outside the box.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
What I loved about it is...
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard
I highly recommend it.
Okay.
And that was really exciting to see. And he's Zach Krieger is a comedy writer originally, probably still. And, you know, you can see the setup and payoff. And that was inspiring. And I'd love to read the script. And I've been watching Dahmer. Because everyone's talking about it. It's, pretty brutal and not for the faint of heart. My mom's like, "Oh, should I watch it?" I was like, "Don't be eating dinner."
Gross.
So yeah, and so those are the two things. And I've been watching a lot of 911 Lone Star.
Okay, that's a guilty pleasure in there.
I guess so. Yeah. So I've been watching every episode of that.
That's fun. Who are your industry heroes or people that you looked up to, whether it be a writer or a director or producer or actor?
Right. I mean, there's a lot of people to look up to. I mean, right now I have a directing mentor, Mary Lou Bella. I know she's a friend of ISA, and she's the person who really inspired me to start directing, and she's a tiny badass. And a couple years ago, when I considered directing, I called her. She lives across the street from my mom, so that's how I know her. And I just said, I have this script and I want to make a proof of concept of it. What do you think? And she's like, for most people, I would say, no, don't do it. For you, go, do it. And so, you know, she's someone who has been working for a really long time, and not everyone necessarily knows who she is, but she just got nominated for an Emmy.
Yeah.
And the people she's with are very prestigious, and she's just showed that, you know, how talented she is. So that's a real inspiration of someone who has worked a really long time and really hard and is getting rewarded for it.
Yes, she's amazing.
Yeah,
she directed one of our table read.
Yeah.
And we were just elated to get her, and she just raised the bar so much for those productions. Not that the directors before, but like she just was so involved.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely amazing.
I sent her shot lists, and she'll go over
that's
them.
So awesome.
And what do you think about this? What do you think about that cut? And so that's really shows me that you should mentor people regardless of, you know, how high up you are.
Yeah, that's true.
Then there's people like Mimi Cave, who directed Fresh, or other Karen Kasama, other people who are, you know, women in horror.
Yeah.
And that's inspiring to see.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
When did you first know or start thinking about the idea that you wanted to become a writer? I know you said director. You hadn't really thought that wasn't
an option
in it yet, but so let's just talk about writing. When did you really know, or have you always been a writer?
So both of my parents are writers. They're both entertainment journalists. They met. Their meet cute is that they met at the first day of TV Guide in 1981, I think, or 1980. And my mom had declined the job, and then there was a mudslide, and so she needed to pay for the house, and she accepted the job, and they said, we hired someone else, but you two can both have the job. And that was my dad. And so writing is definitely just in the family, and people have always asked me that, and I'm like, no, I'm not a writer.
Oh.
And then I started doing comedy. And when I was in my early 20s, I started doing comedy, and I had to write jokes or perform, and I just started writing. And then when I was 26, I got a job at Entertainment Tonight writing, and then I worked there for 4 years. I worked on their website, and I still was like, I didn't consider myself a writer, I guess. And then eventually I did a one-woman show, and, you know, it's like, I didn't know where the path was heading, and I still don't, I have no idea what will happen in the next year. What my life looked like 3 years ago creatively, I didn't expect to happen. So I just kind of take the next indicated action and step forward, and then suddenly I've written a screenplay from the one-woman show, and then I wrote a pilot from that, and then I wrote something else, and then I wrote something else. So it's just write the next page, do the next thing, see what inspires me.
So how long did you work in entertainment news?
I worked in entertainment news for a decade. So I worked at Entertainment Tonight for 4 years, and then I worked for a place called Wonderwall, and then I worked for a company called X17, which is sounds like it's porn, but it is not. It's actually maybe more taboo than porn these days, which is the paparazzi. And then I worked for E! News for a while.
Okay.
So I worked for all those. I worked for the big,
right,
some of the big ones. And yeah, so I wrote for their website. I did breaking news and did interviews and.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's such a life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't want it to be my life.
I was the same way. I was in reality TV, and then I was like, wait, I don't want to do that. So
people really wanted to work there.
Yeah.
They love that stuff, and
So how did you make the shift out of that?
I would write screenplays at night. I'd work all day, and then I'd write screenplays at night or perform at night. I did comedy at night, so kind of I always did both things. And then in 2018, I left Celebrity News. I haven't gone back to it. And I hope that I never, ever have to.
Right. So let's talk about what you're doing now. What are you working on? How many scripts have you written? And then think about moving forward. Like, what do you want to be doing?
I don't think I've written that many scripts. Like, I think I've written between 8 and 10 scripts. I've had a lot of luck, I guess, with the scripts that I've written, and so. Those are pilot or feature scripts. Sure. I've written 7 short films and shot 8 short films, so I guess I've written those scripts.
Sure.
So for pilot and screenplay, honestly, I'm not doing the math, so 8.
Well, it's a fair amount.
Yeah.
I
mean, I have 3. I have 3 features. Oh my god, maybe it's just 6.
I don't know.
I don't know. Just write. So I've had. I have a romcom writing partner, Alicia Gaddis, and she and I optioned a wedding movie, and so that's being shopped right now.
Nice.
I'm reworking the feature of No Overnight Parking, which I have the proof of concept of. I've shot and directed the proof of concept of, and I've been trying to take out a pilot called Witch Please, a magical pilot called Witch Please.
Please.
It's very fun. Yeah, they're all different genres, but...
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I know that you mentioned comedy. You also do horror.
Yes.
I mean, I think comedy and horror go together quite
They really
well.
do.
Do you feel like you have a through line for all of those? Or is there characters that you really love?
I would say that the through line for all the genres tends to be strong, opinionated women who are outcasts or not valued, and maybe don't value themselves enough. And so it's kind of been regardless of, hour-long YA pilot, or rom-com, or horror. It's all, sometimes I'm like, these characters need to be more different, but I mean, maybe not I see it, but so I think it has been regardless of genre that I've wanted to say something about women, so that's tends to be what
has it always been like that, or is that something that you've over the years come to realize, oh yeah, this is the kind of character I like to write? Did you hone that, or has it always been?
That's just kind of it's a lot of, I'm always I'm the main character. So, and I feel like I have always been an outcast, too vocal, too opinionated, and as a result, those are the stories I tend to want to tell.
Well, I like that. I mean, it works. Many women feel that way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In different ways.
Undervalued by men.
Okay, so when you think about the projects that you have right now, where do you see yourself in a year, 5 years?
So I would like someone to give me $3 million to, I think it's possible, for real. I want someone to give me $3 million to make no overnight parking. I could take more. I'd be available for more. But I'd probably be available for less. I don't put that on camera. And I want, like, I made a kick-ass proof of concept, and I want someone to give me my shot at a first feature. And I would love to do that in the next year. And I think I'm paving the way for that to happen. So I don't see why not.
Let's talk about no overnight parking. Mm-hmm. So in regards to ISA, how did shooting the no overnight parking short come to be?
So I found out in February 2020 that I had won the grand prize of the ISA Shoot Your Sizzle, which I promptly asked for it to be changed to Shoot Your Short, and now that is what it is, I believe, because I thought you won't get the tension in a horror piece if you do a sizzle, and you can't explode anywhere,
right?
With just a sizzle. So I brought that to ISA, and they were like, but that's not the contest. And I was like, I don't care, this is what I want to do. Right. And what was great is, like, you listen to what the request was, and so we started to do that. And then something happened in March 2020 and everything. Right. We were just like, okay, we're just gonna put this on pause. And we put it on pause for a really long time. And in July of 2021, or June or July of 2021, we started working on it again. And I had decided that I wanted someone famous to do it. I was like, well, why not? Like, I see other people doing it, so why can't we do it? So I rewrote the ending. In the ending that I originally had, the lead dies, and I was like, well, no name actress is going to want to just die, and what is that? Right. And also, like, that's not feminist. What does that say? If we just have this woman die, what does that say about the bigger picture? The whole point of no overnight parking is that women can get out. Women can beat the odds. They can break the cycle. So if she just dies in it, it's not actually the message I want to tell, even though that is the beginning of the feature. Okay. And so I changed it, and I watched Pulp Fiction at the Hollywood Forever, and I was like, what if I just made this super bloody? And so I changed it, and then I went out to Alyssa Milano and wrote her a letter and asked her to be in it, and she's in it.
How did you do that? I mean, you seem like somebody you ask for what you want.
Yeah.
Does that come easy to you? And then how did you use that to even reach out to her?
I got Alyssa Milano because I hired a casting director through Mary Lou. And when I talked to him, I said my first choice is someone who would be really political and who really wants to stick up for women. And so I suggested Alyssa Milano, and it turns out he had cast her in Insatiable. He's like, I'm gonna reach out to her. I don't think we should go to anyone else. She was top of my list, and I was like, okay. And we reached out to her, and I wrote her a letter, just kind of explaining why I thought she'd be perfect for the role and what it meant to me, and what her activism would mean for the project, and she did it.
That's amazing.
It's kind of crazy.
It's kind of awesome.
I was just like,
I'm so excited to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, it's fun. I just really believe that I'm of the belief that if other people can do it, then why can't you? And the reason that people don't get these things is because they don't ask. So I thought, why not ask her? I mean, the worst she could do was say no.
Right, and then you just moved down the list.
And then you moved down the list.
Yeah.
So
I love that about you.
And she didn't say no.
I love that about you. I'm taking that. All the advice we get, stuff. I'm taking that.
People should. And I've had a lot of people say, I did this because I saw that you had done that, and I did what I did because I saw Teddy Tenenbaum and Min Sun Park, who did Koreatown Ghost Story. They had Margaret Cho, and so I just had a conversation with him. I said, "How did you do it?" So he told me how he did it, so I did it.
hired a casting director and asked.
Yeah, and
it was like great.
He had
easiest job that casting director ever had, right?
Yeah.
He's like, we're reaching out to her. Great.
Yeah, great.
Pay me my
Great.
fee.
Yeah, he was great. Bruce was wonderful. Bruce Newberg. And then we got French Stewart because I said, do you know anyone who you think would do it? And he said French Stewart is the nicest guy. It's a role for, it's a really mean character, and he's like, I think that would be fun for him. So we reached out, and he called me later that day, and I was like, oh, hello, Milton Stewart.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's just like, I don't know, you just ask.
Right.
Just go for it.
Yeah, go for it. And so where are you in the process of that short?
We are so close to being in the can. I'm getting Alyssa's ADR today or tomorrow or Friday. So, we're about to be done with Alyssa's ADR. I got the other characters' ADR. All we need is the sound design, sound mix, and that's being worked on right now. We have a Foley artist coming in because sound is so crucial for this piece since it's
right.
Not a lot of speaking. And then we have to just do the conform and then we're done. But we're out to a couple festivals, some really big festivals, and
Good.
We'd really like for it to premiere in a big way.
Totally.
Yeah. So
yeah, you have to go for that too, right?
Exactly.
Go for it.
I'm just go for it.
All while taking care of a baby, no biggie.
Yeah. I know. It's like,
busy.
I was like, I have to the town people, I was like, I have to get this locked in the next couple of weeks because, like, I'm having a baby. And I guess I can't, like, leave her, really? I don't know. Never done it before.
What do you... Getting some kicks there?
Yeah.
What likes that ISA?
Yeah.
ISA.
Yeah, ISA.
What do
She's
you...
like, Felicity.
What do you like... That's her name. Hello, Felicity.
No. Oh, yeah.
Just kidding.
No.
What do you like most about ISA? What do you think is been the most helpful aspect of ISA? What do you utilize on the website? Just kind of talk about...
I'm a big advocate for ISA because ISA has been a big advocate for me. When I won the grand prize of the Shoot Your Sizzle competition, I actually didn't remember applying because I applied to so many things, and I just wrote back, "Is this a joke?" And the person was like, "No, this is real." I was like screaming. I was like, "What?" Because I had been working on trying to get the Shoot Your, trying to get the funds for the proof of concept.
Right.
So I start working on it. And I met Felicity Wren, and she has just been such a supporter. And I feel like I wouldn't be where I am if Felicity and ISA hadn't, backed me, and then I could say to people, "Oh, I won the grand prize for this. Give me more money."
Right.
It's like somebody believes in me. Grand prize is a cool term. It's a cool placement. I'm into it. I would definitely win more if someone wanted to give that to me. Again, I just think like having that support and being able to tell people, oh, this is something that I did or won, and being the top 25 of screenwriters to watch in 2021, it gives me some a notch in my belt.
Sure. It's an easy conversation starter to talk about where you don't have to figure out something interesting. So to say, you just can. It works.
In every single bio, I put both of those things.
Yep.
So, those. I get asked like, "Oh, why do you do all the competitions?" Or why do you submit to stuff? And because those build your credentials, and I have only had positive experiences. Granted, I've lost a lot more than I've won, but I have a very long list of accolades, and those lined up, say that some people believe in me, and maybe someone else should believe in me too.
I think that's the main thing. We've talked about it in a couple of interviews, is that having those laurels or those accolades, this is an industry of people who nobody knows anything. Everyone's insecure about. So if there's this notion that, well, they like me, they like this project, they think it's worthy, then maybe I should too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the game.
Yeah, it's all part of the game. But
it works.
Awards are awards. I did one shoot where recently for that thing I did give me an A. Oh, I guess I should mention that.
Yes, tell me.
It was 100 degrees, and you can't have air conditioning because you're filming, and it was just like it was the hottest day, and it was at the Wilshire U-Bell with no air conditioning. It was
Oh God. Is that something you're doing now?
No. So one of the projects that I did while waiting for some of the no running parking to be done is I got asked by a producer, Tasha Halevi, whom I had met at all these film festivals, a few days after the Roe v. Wade got overturned, and she said, "Do you want to meet with some female filmmakers?" I thought it was a protest group, and there were like 15 female filmmakers on, and she said, "Let's all do short films, and I'm going to make it an anthology."
Is this the Adriana Leonard? Is she part of that?
She might be.
I think so.
There's so many people that are part of it that people are like, "Oh, my friend did." I was like, "I'm sure they did." There's 15
like,
short
yes?
films. There's so many people.
I'm trying to remember from what I know.
It's Alyssa Milano.
Was
Gina
Jennifer
Torres.
Holland?
Yes,
Yes.
Jennifer Holland.
So
isn't
it
it?
is. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people, a lot of really awesome people came together. So many people gave their time, gave money, gave their Steadicam to this project because so many people believe in it. And we started June 29th, and then for me, I was in the can by September 10th or something. So, and now it's played Fantastic Fest, it's playing Scream Fest, it's playing Brooklyn Horror Film Festival, it's gotten multiple write-ups and deadline, and it's just it's been a really cool project to be a part of, where it's that same thing of like, just do the next step. Someone asked me to go to a Zoom, I had no idea, and then asked me to do a movie, and I was like,
Right.
I'm kind of pregnant, and so it's like, I'll do it, but we'll see how this works. And then I had an idea, and then I wrote the script, and then I, got the DP and did all of it, and then it's had these really cool results, which isn't what I started with. It was just like, just say yes.
Sure. Let's talk about just say yes. Are you somebody who just says yes, or are you somebody who, because there's that thing, it's like, oh, just say yes. Like when you're coming up in the industry, just say yes. Do you believe in that idea?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's limits to that, but those limits haven't necessarily been tested or inappropriate. But it's,
Sure.
Do you have the time? I don't know. I'll figure it out. One of the things is I found out about a week ago that I had got into the Ryan Murphy Half Initiative Director Shadowing Program.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it's very exciting. I applied in June, and I met with them last week, and I was like, I'm not sure if I should tell them I'm pregnant or not, because they can't see, because I'm on Zoom. And kind of once I had the conversation, and it was very clear that it had to do with scheduling, I had to tell them that
Sure.
I was pregnant, and that affected scheduling. And so this wonderful woman, Jerry Page, was like, we can either get you in now or get you in a while, and let's try to get you in now. And so I'm just like, how do you feel about being really pregnant on set? I was just like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Let's get those BTS photos.
Memories.
Yeah,
people.
memories. Like, and what's cool is the Half Initiative is about supporting women, and
Right.
I am a woman,
The epitome
who
of
is-
woman.
yeah, who was very pregnant, and so, I start next week, and I have no idea how it'll go. I hope,
Stay in there.
hopefully, yeah.
Stay in there.
I've talked to her a number of times and said, you need to stay in there because
Right.
we're filming till November 7th.
You're really comfy. Just,
Yeah,
you're good.
yeah. We're filming to November 7th. She's set
Okay.
to be induced November 16th.
Okay.
So,
I think it'll be good.
hopefully, yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's
Congratulations.
very, very exciting. I've got some new Hokas because I've been told that those are the most comfortable shoes to wear on set.
That's what I wear.
Yeah.
Hokas are the best shoes on the planet.
Yeah, so that's my hot tip.
Hoka. Be our sponsor.
Hokas.
I tell everybody about Hokas.
Yeah.
I've had them for a while, and I'm like, no, you got to get Hokas. They're like the best.
I went into the store to buy them, and then I met this female director because she had been told to buy Hokas, and she's like
Love it.
directed Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like all these amazing
Yeah.
shows, and because I looked her up later, and I was like, oh my god, she's like a half-hour sitcom superstar. director, and so we bonded over
and
that.
Hoka rip.
And I know.
That's funny because I just told one of my friends about Hoka. She's like, "Oh, I have like my ankles hurt, my knees hurt." I'm like, "Get Hokas," and then she wrote me this big long text, just like, "Oh my God, they're the greatest things I've ever put on my feet." I was like, "I told you."
Yeah, my feet are swollen, and I'm gonna wear compression socks.
Ooh.
And I don't know. It's just this is like the just say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an easy thing.
Yeah.
To say yes to, but there is a lot of fear, and
well, of course,
I'm a person who.
It would be easy to say yes, let's do it later.
No.
But do it now.
You gotta do it. I'm doing it now. I have no idea what'll happen later. So I'm just gonna show up.
Awesome.
And not say
anything.
And
you're gonna be treated so nicely.
I know.
I mean,
I was like, they're gonna remember me, and I'm gonna my water's probably gonna break on wrap up. So
hopefully.
I don't have to call 911. They'll be there. Gina Torres
there will be a set medic.
Be there.
Is there anything else that you've learned along the way that you could share with viewers or up-and-coming screenwriters, or maybe screenwriters who are considering directing?
Yeah, I would say that being able to take notes is really important. I have found it. I'm in a writer's group. I'm in 2 different writers groups right now, and I'm now reworking No Overnight Parking. I had them read it last weekend, and I'm like, this is not good enough. And I've been working on it a really long time. I've been working on it for 5 years. And I'm like, it's not good enough. And some of the stuff I used to have was better. And kind of going back and understanding, having the humility to say, like, this isn't what I want it to be. It's not there yet.
Right.
I want to love it. And right now I don't love it.
Right.
And so, yeah, I would say what's really important for writers is to get a group of peers. I don't often pay for comments anymore on these, festivals or competitions. I get people I trust, people whose opinions I trust, and I have them read it, and I read their stuff, and I give them notes.
Sure.
And I really think you can tell writers who have not read scripts before.
Sure.
You can easily tell.
Yeah.
But they don't know that you can tell because of their formatting.
Sure.
And so that's like, I would say it goes without saying, but it doesn't go without saying. And I still, I need to be reading more scripts. I think you need to be hungry. You need to want to know more. You need to be watching movies. You need to be stopping them at a certain time. Say, okay, that's an act break.
Sure.
Knowing what's on. Being informed. Constantly learning what I'm doing, because I'm going to be directing something, is I'm watching every single episode of the show.
Sure.
And then for the season before, I'm going to try to figure out what their shot lists are, or their setups, or something like that, because I want to be teachable.
Right.
So, and I can learn a lot from my peers, and I can learn a lot from people who know more than I do, which is a lot of people. Definitely a lot of people.
Always learning. What genre is your favorite to write in?
Horror might be easiest. Making horror is easier than comedy. I love writing comedy. It's so fun. I love writing with my writing partner, Alicia. We have so much fun together, and it is easy. But making comedy is hard.
Yeah.
I've shot a comedy that I wrote, and some of it hits and some of it misses. And it's harder. You can't just put scary music on it.
Right.
That would be weird. But I think
funny, maybe.
But I think comedy is so fun to write.
Yeah. But when you get it, then it's amazing. When you're not getting it,
and it's even when you're filming, it's I'd also say it's something important as a writer. What I've seen as a director, directing things that I've written, is not to be too precious with the words. I think maybe because of my background is improv, that I can say to the actors, which is probably a nightmare for editors, to say things that feel more comfortable than maybe what I've written. I'm in a directing class right now, because I'm workshopping stuff from Overnight Parking, because I want to see how it lands with people who really are actors. And I'm changing stuff based on what they're contributing. What works on the page doesn't necessarily work when you're filming, or when you put it on its feet. And so it's really cool to learn from people who make it better, actually. So that's been cool.
So your path in directing has absolutely affected
my writing.
Your writing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that people should not be just stuck writing? Do you think that they should branch out and do improv or do comedy or take directing courses or anything like that?
I think any way you can learn is great. Why I wanted to do a shadowing program is so that I can watch someone else do it and also not have the pressure.
Right.
It's also much less expensive to watch someone else direct than for you to make your own short film. I think the more I know about writing helps me direct, and the more I know about directing helps me write. It's certainly, I realize now that I've been writing a lot of times to direct something, and I didn't realize that. But yeah, I hope that my screenwriting has gotten better. I certainly think about it in a different way.
Right.
If I'm thinking about that I'm directing it.
Right.
That's probably going to be lower budget.
Right, you're like, take that out.
Yeah.
Take that out.
No.
Reverse
space operas or whatever.
This character and this character go together.
Yeah.
These are just fun ones. What's your favorite word?
Motif. Motif.
Just I love this question.
Just say it.
Writers have the weirdest words.
Motif.
Motif. I like it.
Yeah.
What's your pet peeve when it comes to grammar or spelling?
I have a lot. Okay. It's like I can't list them all. I was a copy editor for a long time, so that doesn't mean I don't have all of these mistakes. Sure. But the your tends to be, I think Carrie Bradshaw caught that one in Sex and the City. Yeah. So your is a pet peeve. Possessive before gerund, which I feel like people would never know that, but I definitely remember it from 8th grade.
And then if you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
Obviously have like a million more wishes.
Sure.
So it's like that
obviously.
One. Obviously that. If I had 3 wishes, it would be just have like all the clothes in the world and like a really big closet.
Sure.
I think this was one. I guess truly my wish would be like to not be so scared all the time. To not be riddled with anxiety. It'd be really nice, but I make do. I act as if I don't have it.
You absolutely act as if you don't have it.
Yeah. Just be nice in my head not to.
Sometimes that can translate to just
it's nonstop doing. Yeah. For me it's just nonstop doing.
Yeah.
But,
just go.
Just go.
Yeah. Like what?
It's gonna stop soon. It'll stop soon.
And then what's the third one?
I wish my mom wouldn't have back pain.
Lovely. So selfless.
But I still get the million wishes for one of them.
Right. So just telling you you're about to have a girl. Yeah. So that closet reverting from yours to hers.
Yeah.
And you may be in, underwear from this year in 10 years. So because you will just buy her clothes and then you'll forget about yourself.
Yeah. I have clothes from 8th grade that used to still fit me. So I have
Yeah, I had a kid. I have a boy and I don't even have to buy that many clothes for him, and I'm still like, hi, I forgot about myself for a while there. So don't forget about yourself.
Yeah. Oh, I won't. I won't.
Well, thank you very much for being here.
Yeah.
It was such a wonderful time chatting with you. I had a great time.
It was really nice talking to you.
And we will see you next time.